Daniela here, and I'm back for another round of rapid renovation tips with you. So, you've decided that you want to try your hand at renovating for wealth. Amazing! You've figured out what your end goal is and why you want to dive into the world of renovation, and that is super exciting. But what about the bumps or the hazards along the road? Do you know the road rules of a particular journey? And have you even got a GPS that's up to date to help you avoid any potential potholes or dead ends on this journey? Like any journey, getting into the business of renovating for wealth has its own dangers and risks, except unlike a stint at growing your own fruits or vegetables or spontaneously deciding to bring home a super cute puppy from the pet store, renovating involves a lot of money. And as with most things, the more money, the greater the risk. However, this also means that there is potential reward that can be far greater than you ever imagined. So, in today's video, I'm going to take you through the most common risks of house flipping or renovating to create wealth and what you can do to avoid them. But before we go forward, don't let any of these pitfalls deter you from renovating, okay? They're here to warn you, not to freak you out. Instead, I want you to use them to build a better model of your project and maximize your profits. So, drum roll, please. Number one, the first possible pitfall is overpaying. Never, ever overpay. You know, you might think you found the perfect house in the perfect area that's just right for renovating, but the seller will not budge on their inflated price tag. Then move on. There are plenty more fish in the sea. The first risk involves spending too much money on a property before your renovation even begins. So remember the age-old saying, buy low, sell high. It's a golden rule of renovating for wealth. And no matter how well you manage your project's budget or how amazing your new terrace addition is, if you overpaid at the time of purchase, it's really hurt your ability to maximize your return on investment. Now, the second pitfall is overcommitting. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Now, unless you're a jack of all trades, then that's a different case. You must obviously leave the electrical and the gas plumbing to the professionals. But yes, okay, so you might be able to save yourself a few dollars at first by connecting up the dishwasher yourself or by painting the entire house yourself. Fantastic. However, I want you to look at the big picture. If by painting the entire house yourself, it actually means you can't earn money from your existing employment, or it takes you 7 weeks longer to complete the renovation, and hence you'd be more financially well off if you actually paid someone else to do it. You always need to consider the bigger picture. Now, the third pitfall. It's not overcommitting, it is overcapitalizing, okay? So looking after your budget is so essential, and not getting carried away with your renovation is also really important. So this is the third risk, and similar to the first one, it involves the aspect of putting in too much money, essentially. So there's a real need for balance here between how much money you're going to put in and how much money you're going to get out. It can be really easy to get carried away by a renovation project. And if you throw too much money into the property upgrades, then you're ultimately reducing your own profit pool. So, does the property actually call for an extra balcony or a state-of-the-art kitchen? If the answer is no, then you need to reassess your vision for the property. Even professional architects and interior designers, they have budgets set by their clients. Except in this case, the only difference is you are your own client and you need to look at the project from a profit standpoint. So it's all about return on investment. And if there are improvements to this renovation that don't add any value to the return on investment, then you need to cull them now. There is no use in going in with extravagant fittings and fixtures if it won't pay off for you. Now, pitfall number 4 is undercapitalizing. Oh my gosh, I know it's the opposite of the first one, but being smart with your budget does not mean skimping on necessities at all. So it is the opposite of the third one. The fourth one is the risk of undercapitalizing, and this is such a hard temptation to avoid. And it's about spending less and cutting corners in the hopes of stretching out your budget. Would you go buy a property, other than for renovating purposes, obviously, that had a dodgy paint job or was really cheaply finished or that totally missed the market altogether? Don't fall into the trap of going for cheaper options just because they're cheap. You don't want the market coming in and viewing your property going, wow, look at the size of that crack that they tried to paint over. You want them coming in going, wow, I'm moving in right now. Where do I sign? Now, pitfall number 5 is underselling. So the fifth and final one of these is actually something that scares off so many budding renovators from diving into the business of renovating for wealth. What is it, I hear you ask? So underselling is really not selling well or not selling at all. And it's exactly what it sounds like. And I tell you, underselling can put a doom and gloom and dampener on anyone's mood. Just imagine all the planning, all the capital, all the effort, and no one is interested except you. But don't run away just yet, okay? If you've done your research, if you've completed all of the proper steps and you have solid outline of what you're going to do, you've used checklists, you've stuck to your renovation plan and your renovation budget, you will be well equipped to completely avoid this pothole in the road. Know your property, know your location, know your market. Do the groundwork before you set out on your renovation journey, and this will help you completely avoid and miss this pitfall altogether. On this note, guys, take these on board. Don't be scared off. Instead, incorporate these into your tool belt, and happy renovating. Thanks for joining me. Did you know I wrote a book all about renovating to create wealth and freedom in your life? I've added the link below in the description for you. Enjoy.